Good afternoon, friends. New day in the shop, new bike on the lift. Now I've got a 2000 Harley Davidson Sportster 1200. We'll do a little walk around, we'll talk about the bike and what its issue is and the future plans for it. So I figured I'll turn the camera here and we'll walk around this thing and show you the bike. What we're looking at, I believe, is a 2000 Custom. Now I'm not exactly sure if that's what this is or not, but I believe based on the chrome, the spoke wheels, the 19-inch front, the single disc, I think this is a Custom. I don't think this is the low or the other models that they have. I'm not exactly sure. I don't know a ton about this new stuff, so bear with me here. Anyway, it's a single disc application. This does have the light bar added to it. It's got the stock riser on it. There's some damage to it. Got a broken lever in the end. It's a little scuffed up. It does have a replacement tank on it. Unfortunately, the cleaner spilled. The previous owner had a tank cleaning going on and spilled some of that out, and it did eat the paint away. And as you can see, looking at the bike, it has a ton of chrome. It also has forward controls. There's no battery in it currently, and we'll get to that in a minute. But it does have all the chrome covers on the calipers, a chrome swing arm, just all the accessories you could add to one of these things. And as you can see, this thing has been setting for quite a while. We do have the chrome oil bag. We do have the chrome master cylinder cover. We have a set of Vance & Hines pipes. This is running a Super E carburetor. Not a bad looking bike. It's got the big heavy duty seat on it, so it should be comfy to ride. So let's talk about the bike and why I have it. A friend of mine had this bike for a long time and recently upgraded to a newer Sportster. This bike, of course, hit the wayside and sat for a long time. Now, him and I talked about the issues it was having and what it could potentially be, and he was going to work on it, fix it, and sell the bike. Well, I met with him, it's been a while now, and he wanted some help looking at the bike or whatever, and decided that he'd rather off the bike than work on the bike. So him and I made a deal, and I have purchased the bike. The issue that he was having was the bike does not start. He said hooking a battery to it, the bike just clicks. So it could be the starter, it could be the starter solenoid, it could be a couple of things. I mean, it could be locked up. I hope it's not the issue. Don't believe it's locked up. I don't know a whole lot about the bike because I didn't get a lot of good information with it. I just know that it's a 2000, it's a Sportster, it has a clean title, and I was able to obtain it for pretty cheap. So today we're going to go ahead and move the camera around, we're going to install a battery, we're going to look at what could potentially be wrong with this thing and work on it. I do not have the correct battery for this motorcycle. I do have a battery from a later model FX, so it's a little bit bigger than what goes in the battery tray. So I do need some space. And what I'm going to need to do first is take off this seat. Obviously, with having a big seat, you're kind of limited in working space here. So I want to remove the seat first, and then we'll install a battery. On the back of the motorcycle is a single stud here. This is a Phillips screw. This is into the fender. We'll go ahead and we'll loosen this up. It's just a screw like this. With that out of the way, we should be able to pull the seat. And now the seat is out of the way. Under the seat with these little leather straps, I'm not exactly sure what they're for. They're leather and nylon. I thought that this was a seat strap that went over the top because I only saw one side hanging out, but I have no idea what this exactly goes to. Anyway, let's go ahead and move the camera and then get this battery installed. Since the battery does not properly fit into the battery box, I did use one of my other jacks. I do have it kind of haphazardly stuck here. I know it's not the right way to do it. I could have hung it off of the terminals. I didn't really want to do that either. So I do have it semi-braced. I don't have any good way to brace it. But what I want to do next, I'm going to flip the ignition on and I want to hit the start button and see what this thing does. We'll turn the ignition to the on position. Very strange. With the ignition on, we will turn it to run and we will hit the start button and see what it does. It rolls over just fine. So I'm wondering if the previous owner had an issue with the battery. Now I know that he did hook a tractor battery up to it, and I'm assuming that that tractor battery did not have enough power to actually roll the bike over. Now we'll go ahead and turn the fuel on and see if we can get this thing to start. Now I know this is full of fuel, so I'm going to actually just turn it on to the on position. Again, this is running an S&S Super E, so I'm going to pull up the enricher. We're going to give the throttle a couple of twists. We'll turn the ignition back on and see if this thing will fire. For a motorcycle that's been sitting for a long time without a battery in and supposedly not running, this thing sounds really nice and runs very well. Now I need to go ahead and figure out what I'm going to do with it next. I've got a couple of ideas, so we'll walk through those in a minute here. I know you guys are wondering, what am I going to do with this thing next? And of course, this wouldn't be a chop shop if I didn't take it apart, right? So the next endeavor for this bike is I'm going to take it apart. I'm going to tear it down and I'm going to sell off a lot of the parts. Now you're probably thinking, what a waste of a great bike. And to that, I'll say, I'm going to make it something else. I'm going to turn it into a different type of a chopper. I've got a complete frame for this thing to go into. And most of the components I don't need. I have a different set of wheels and tires that I want to run. It's not going to have a front fender. The rear fender is going to have to be totally custom. Obviously that seat's not going to work. This front end might go on it. I'm not sure. It might not. I've got a couple other ones that I really kind of love. And I'm thinking maybe that'll be what goes on it. But the exhaust is going to go away. A lot of the parts that are on this bike are just going to be gone because it's not going to be a stock Sportster. It's going to be a chopper. And as choppers go, they don't have all these components. So with that, I'm telling you guys now, I'm going to start taking this thing apart. Now that's not in today's video. That's going to be in future videos. And I'm going to shoot it just like I shot that shovel head. I'm going to do it one piece at a time and show you how to take this thing apart. This is going to be like a learning tutorial, again, to show you all how to remove the front end, to remove these spotlights, to take the wiring out, to all of the things. So you can kind of see how one of these comes apart. Some of the things that happen, some of the pitfalls that come with it, and exactly how to do everything. And with that, eventually, you'll see me put it back together in a new form. Now, it won't be probably anytime soon. I know I want the engine, and of course I know that the parts I'm going to sell have value. I do have money into this bike, so I need to recoup some of those funds that I have put out. With that, I'm going to take this thing apart. I'm going to sell off what I can. I'm going to make my money back, so I've got money in my pocket for the business to continue running the day-to-day operations. And I'm going to set the engine aside and maybe the other components that I will be keeping. If you're looking for good parts, follow the video series. Check my eBay page. Of course, everything will be for sale on there. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button. You're going to want to see this thing come apart, or you're going to want to know when the parts are listed. That's a great way to do it. If you like the video, go ahead and give it a like. I'm super impressed this thing ran so easily because I had no idea what I was going to run into with this. All I knew is it didn't run. I was told it clicks when you push the button, which led me to believe a couple of things. It's either a battery issue, starter, or solenoid. Unless it's completely locked up and it can't turn. I mean, the Bendix could go to heck too, so that could be an issue. But typically, it's going to be battery, it's going to be starter, or it's going to be solenoid. Those are your common ones. I mean, obviously, you can check wiring and grounds and all the good stuff. And I was hoping it wasn't going to be a wiring issue, but I wasn't exactly sure. But today, thankfully, with the proper battery, I know not quite the proper one, but a big enough battery, this thing started right up, and man, it did sound good. It's got 8,700 miles on it, so 8,700 miles on this thing. It's barely broken in. For Sportsters, that's low mileage. You do see that with Sportsters. They're either really low mileage or they've been ridden to death. They've got under 10,000, they've got 60,000 miles. It's kind of crazy. So the guys that buy them either love them or they don't ride them. Anyway, friends, that's it for this one. I'm going to get off here and get after the next project, so we'll catch you next time.